Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of Crystal Warriors for the Sega Game Gear. Initial party only. We have a lot of monsters in this round, so we're going to get a lot of good experience for our healer, and we're going to tame a bunch of monsters for our fighting characters. So we have a scorpion down there, we already got one of them, but beyond the scorpion is a level 2 earth monster, the worm. There's also going to be a level 2 water monster. We have those aquans over there, they're the level 1 water monster, but there's going to be a mermaid siren. See the one down there between the two aquans? That is the level 2 water monster. So Iris and Rat are going to have their level 1 and level 2 monsters after this battle. So there's also a wisp over on the side in the desert that we'll be able to defeat, but we already have Dane already has a fire monster, so she don't need to tame that. And the enemy has a full complement of soldiers from now on. Yeah, 9 is the max amount of enemies that humanoid enemies that the Empire can field, and from now on they're going to field that amount. So the first few maps, they took it easy. You know, they started off with 4, and then they went up to 5 and 6, and they gradually built up. But now we're gonna hit the max. So we're gonna send our elemental fighters over there to the right, and we'll just hang out over there and pick them off as we need them. Our healer will accompany the fighters to, you know, provide support, mainly in the form of healing. Occasionally, she might get into a fight or two. So the enemy's gonna have healers and mages as well, so gotta watch out for them. But usually the healers tend to stay back. So most likely that one enemy that's hanging out on the fort there, that's probably the healer. Mages tend to be a little bit more aggressive, so that's probably the one on the bottom here. And we'll see. Let's break open this break away that obscuring mist with our scan spell. Yep, it's another mage, the Pyro. See if we can scan anyone else. Yeah, the healers will tend to stick back because healing spells have really good range. Heal spell can almost hit probably 80% of the battlefield. Life is a little the level 2 healing spell has a little short of a range, but still has pretty good range. So yeah, there's no point for the healer to run up and get to the front of the lines. Just hang back and support, because its support can reach from pretty much everywhere. So almost everywhere. So that was pretty nice. That character has a fire spell, that Pyro. This one has the flash, so we want to go after that Pyro with our water character. Ooh. And they, of course, want to send their fire character after our wind character, but this is why we have we tame the monster that we're strong against, so that when we fight an enemy who we're weak against, we can have the monster come out and do the damage. So yeah, so it absorbed a hit and hit twice as hard as probably twice as hard as what the Rat would have been able to do. So this is a rare instance where the wind is actually going after an enemy that it's strong against. So yeah, wind is weak against fire, but for some reason they decided to go after it. So probably because there's no other valid target. Alright, we have quite a few targets here to go after. So we're going to attack from one range and do the battle command, not the spell command. That'll allow Mirik to go hit this Pyro twice. When the Pyro must be a little bit higher level than Mirik, because he's dealing 8 damage, where Mirik's only doing 7. And that was not a good fight for Mirik, because he missed once and he got hit twice, so Mirik's at the point where we don't want him to get into another fight again like that, so we want to heal him up. Now usually the mages will not, they'll tend to attack from range, so most likely Mirik really wasn't in danger there. The mage would probably just like attack just once, hit with a spell, but it's better be safe than sorry. Remember, if a character is defeated in battle, you lose that character forever, and we don't want that to happen. Iris wants to take care of her friends, so she's gonna make sure that none of these initial folks who hung out with her at the beginning will, you know, fall in battle. She's a kind princess like that. Speaking of kind princesses, Princess Sarissa just got the levels that she thinks she's going to need to take on Omega in the Final Fantasy V 4-job Fiesta. She's supposed to take on Omega and Shinryu in that game, but she got level 59 with all of her characters the other night. So the plan is, spoiler, Dark Shock Omega, divide its level in half, get that down to level 59, and then use Goblin Punch to do 8 times the damage, because levels are the same. You do 8 times the damage, so Omega has really high defense. That's why you're supposed to usually use like a lightning elemental weapon or spell, but we don't have that. Remember, blue mages in that game, they only have fire and arrow, as they're like 2 elemental spells. Fire with emission, and then arrow 1, 2, and 3. But speaking of elements, a water elemental monster helped our wind take out a character that is weak against fire, so nice. And the Pyro is going after the princess. Yeah, it's going after him. It didn't move away. That was dumb. You should have taken a step back, and then that way the princess couldn't have countered. But alright, so now we're going to use fire here. Water is weak against wind, but wind is weak against fire, so even though they're attacking our elemental weakness, we can attack the enemy's elemental weakness by summoning our fire monster. We can do that again for this one here. That'll unfortunately though, we can't pass through the thing, otherwise we could have this new wind enemy here is kind of blocking. I'd like to try to take out that one wind elemental enemy down there at the bottom. Ooh, but they got another level 2 wind element enemy here. Saw that she appeared in the last battle. No damage, nice. That would have been a lot of damage because elemental weakness, so. But this is where we have, once again, the monsters showing their worth. Doing some decent damage there. So I'm thinking, we have a lot of weak characters here. That Pyro is, of course, annoying because it can attack from 3 range. Not fun. But let's Mirik. Ooh, no, we didn't want to attack. Oh. Finicky controls. Or I should say finicky hands. So maybe it's just me getting old. Old Kevin here. Can't play games anymore. Oh well. That's alright. This is just a hobby. It's not like I'm doing this to make a living. I'm not one of those Twitch streamers or YouTube streamers, or I think now even what, Facebook has a streaming service? Facebook gaming? I don't know. I think they do, but Twitch and YouTube are the big ones. Yeah, I just do this for, fun and enjoyment, I figured I had a bunch of games, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do a little hobby. If people get enjoyment out of it, then, you know, I win. So, like I said, I mainly started doing it because a lot of these games, this one, unfortunately, you can't, but a lot of the games that I play, like for instance that Final Fantasy V 4-Job Fiesta, you know, you can change the names of your characters. So, you know, I changed them to the name of like somebody's pet in the Marty Mouse House Minions Facebook group. It's a way to like honor their pet, you know, make their usually a recently departed pet, make them the hero of a game. So, and you know, I've gotten some feedback from folks that, you know, they really like it. It's like a sweet little gesture. So, 'cause yeah, that's I guess one of the bad things about owning pet rats is they have such a short lifespan. You know, 2 to 3 years. You know, optimally. You know, and you know sometimes there's a lot of diseases that, you know, prevent them from even reaching that amount of life. So, you know, we all know the pain of losing a pet rat. So anything we can do to help each other out, you know, get through those tough times, you know, we do. So, because like I said, we all can empathize with one another, because we've all lost those pets. So, I unfortunately lost 4 of them this year. So, but I will be adopting again. Just unfortunately, have to go visit my mother, and I have a vacation planned up to Canada, the land of Chip, who was one of the rats adopted by the woman who runs the Marty Mouse House webpage. Chip, the Canadian rat. It was a big caravan of rats. Somebody had a bunch of pregnant rats, and there was just a massive, I guess, hoarding situation, for lack of a better term. And they needed a bunch of adopters, so they had this big train come down into America on the West Coast, and that's how Chip got adopted, even though he was a Canadian rat. So in honor of Chip, I will be going up to Canada, taking a cross-country trip across the great north there. So I will be on the train for 4 of the days, get to see the entire country. Then I have a little tour on the East Coast and the West Coast in Ontario and Vancouver, respectively. You know, while crossing that country, I thankfully won't have to fight Imperial soldiers like Princess Iris and her friends are doing here. So, yeah. At least I hope I don't have to. The travel agency did recommend that I buy traveler's insurance. Do they know something that I don't? So, well, the good thing is that Pyro there only has the fire spell. So, if it tries to attack Dane, Dane is water. So, not gonna do a lot of damage to Dane. So, that's nice. Now, we gotta be a little bit careful here. We have all these monsters here, and monsters are, like I said, easy experience. So, but if you defeat all the humanoid enemies, even if there's monsters still on the screen, the battle's over. So we don't want to defeat all the humanoid enemies before we defeat the monsters. Like I said, we want Rat to tame that siren monster there, and we want to get some, you know, cheap experience by defeating that wisp over there. So, don't be in a rush to defeat all the humanoid enemies. They're kind of dwindling down here rapidly. So you just gotta be careful. We don't want to defeat all them and leave experience on the table. You know, don't want to waste that experience. That's more of an issue, of course, if you're recruiting every character. But since we're not, it's not going to be, like I said, as big an issue, but still, you know, we don't want to be wasteful, you know, take advantage of the experience we're getting. Ouch! So let's run away here. There we go. Yeah, Rat probably not the best person to attack that mage, but we gotta weaken it because they have no elemental weaknesses, so we're just basically chip damaging it. And the healer keeps healing it, so we're gonna have to go after it with multiple characters to finally take this pyro down. So, and here we go. Let's have Eldor get some experience. He's been kind of neglected. There we go, give him a level. Nice. So, now, whatchamacallit, we'll heal up our, rat. Water could probably use healing, but, because they're the ones who are weak against that wind, enemy that remains. But rat is pretty much down to critical hit points, so I think, first of all, Dane can survive an attack. And if not, she can always summon that wisp monster. And if the wisp unfortunately happens to get defeated in battle, well, we have another wisp just waiting in the wings right here. So, now speaking of taming monsters, you can only have 4 tamed monsters. If you have 4 tamed monsters and you tame another monster, it just says you don't have room, and you know that monster just goes to wherever it goes. I guess it just goes back into the woods or whatever place it lives. But so eventually we're gonna have, you know, every one of our fighters will have 4 monsters, you know, of each level, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But if we lose one at the beginning here, it's okay, because like I said, there's more than enough replacement monsters. Let's summon our little scorpion here. Boink! That little cute little tail stab there. Boink. And the monster runs away. And we do not want to fight, because like I said, we want to keep this healer basically alive, so that, you know, we can gain the max experience, so. Alright, let's have the wisp come out. Now, like I said, if the wisp gets defeated here... Oh, it doesn't. Nice. It lives to fight another day. Nice. But if it did, we'd just have Dane go down there and defeat that other wisp down there. So... But as is, we don't have to worry about it. We can have our priest do it, so... Eldor, no problem finishing off this Aya character. And now we can concentrate on getting Rat down there to the bottom to get that other, the level 2, the Siren monster, the water monster. Would this be enough for Fry to gain a level? I don't know. I forget how many experience she's at. Nope, so I know she's at level 7, so one more fight will definitely get her to level 8. And I think that'll, so 3 more will get her to level 9, because I think she has 8 experience right now. Experience rolls over, so she'll gain 4 experience for defeating an enemy, get her at 10, and then the 2 will roll over, so she'll be at level 8 with 2 stars, and then, you know, 2 more points of experience, 2 more battles will be 8 more experience, or we'll get her to level 9 even. And when that happens, we will see the massive stat increases that she gets. But the only thing we want to get right now is another water monster for Rat. Next turn we should be able to get it. We can move Rat in range. Even though that water monster is kind of hanging out in woods, remember, Rat is wind, and wind don't suffer penalty walking through the woods. So, he'll be able to get within range of that, the aggro range of the Siren. And we just have to absorb a hit or 2 from this priest, but priest, because their priests aren't at max level, ain't gonna do much damage, so even if we weren't able to run that battle, it was okay, you know. Iris is in no danger of being defeated. Because, you know, heaven forbid, we can always have, fire there, heal, Iris up. And we can also have, fire, take this, Priest out. Priest versus priest. Get her up to level 8. Run away, Aris. Yeah, and only 3 hit points. Yeah, 1 hit will be all we need. So, bonk. There we go. Fry's victorious. Gained the level. 1 more, and massive stat increase. Let's go to town again here. What's our future? Wise are those who fear the winds. Yep. In our next episode, the next battle, we're actually going to face the first elemental warlord in the Jin Empire, the Rhaegar, the Wind warlord. So yeah, we'll definitely want to have our healer up to level 10. Falchion, that's the good sword for a fighter. So better than the regular sword. The sword is just level 1. The falchion is level 2. The sword is level 1, that's what the Lord also uses, but the halberd is the level 2 version of that. War Claws is the level 1 weapon for the Rangers. The War Blade is the level 2. And the Princess, she'll get a level 3, the Claymore. So she can use the sword. Oh no, she uses like a rapier and S-Talk. And then the Claymore is the best sword for her. But a lot of those won't be available until much later, but what will be available immediately is our first Elemental Lord next episode. Bye!